But I think it's important. I mean, this is the feedback. I get this feedback from my own mother at times. But I think it's important to note that that's the same system that sometimes, let's be honest, you go on sometimes just because you need a break and you just want to have a little bit of fun. But it also is the site that enables connections and empowers people to do amazing things. You know, if you think about it, it doesn't necessarily make us all famous and get us all to host television programs. But part of what makes it so powerful, and part of this profound change that we're seeing on the internet and in the way that we connect, that we think explains the growth of Facebook, is the fact that it is really a genuine reflection of who you are. So this is my profile page, and you can see a few of my updates that we've called out: coming to India, my kids at school, brands that I've associated with. And this is what my page looks like. And then this is Dimitri and Kurthiga, two of my colleagues who work here in Facebook India. And what you'll notice pretty quickly, and if those of you, and I hope most of you, use Facebook, by the way, if you're going to be on your phone or not pay attention, it's okay as long as you're using Facebook. I just want to make that clear so you have my permission. But if you look at these pages, they're totally different. You know, if you and I were to go to most pages on the internet and say, hey, I'm going to go check out, pick your favorite page, and I looked at my screen and I looked at your screen, we'd be looking pretty much at identical things. And yet, if you go to Facebook and I go to Facebook, it's a completely different experience, right? Because it's completely personalized to you and it's completely personalized to me. And so, we think this, if you think about the whole ecosystem of the information out there and the information we access online, there's about 90 million active websites, domains out there. And there's well over 500 million Facebook profiles. And if you think about those, each of those really is a customized web page with the information customized to you based on the connections that you've made and the things that you care about in your life. And it's not just individuals who are getting in and taking advantage of the personalization, of course. Websites are taking advantage of this as well. The Times of India has integrated Facebook as well and uses it so to enable us to share the stories that we care about with friends, or to look at comments, because it's a much better experience when you go on a site, not to see comments from some strangers with names like DBF13, but actually to see what your friends, what the people you know, what are they saying, what are they reading, what are they sharing. And we think it's because of this that Facebook is, for most sites out there, many sites out there, becoming the leading source of referral traffic. Another example, and I saw Brad mentioned, I hope you guys are in the audience, Cricinfo, the leading cricket site in the world. Are you guys out here? Someone from? Yeah, thank you guys. So they've integrated Facebook into their site as well. And what I'm told, and I hope this is right, you'll correct me if I'm not, is that it's actually doubled the referral traffic that you're getting as a result of people actually being able to leverage their connections to say, hey, here's an exciting story, or here's some news that I want to share. Or I think there's been a little bit of exciting news recently about the Indian cricket team. Congratulations on that, by the way. And the opportunity to share that with your friends or to comment on it and see what your friends are doing. So these are sort of the personalization that's happening, and it's enabling a much better experience for individuals, for websites. And for us as marketers, those same opportunities for personalization are there, and is really starting to create new and exciting opportunities for marketing, because at the end of the day, Facebook is not just about connecting people, although people are an important part of it. It's about taking our actual lives and then trying to represent that via Facebook. And many of the connections that we make are ones with musicians, with artists. It might be with our universities or with sports teams, and with brands and with products. Because when we think about our mission at Facebook, we think about building out the social graph and taking all of the connections we have, all of the things that matter in our lives, and mapping them online through this social graph. And what's interesting is, while people are at the heart of Facebook for obvious reasons, the number of connections, so every day, 15 million friend connections, 15 million friend connections are made every day. But at the same time, every day, 50 million connections are made from people to brands, people to products, people to sports clubs, people to pages. And so actually what all of us are telling Facebook and telling one another is that we actually want to represent ourselves. We want to connect with different entities, not just with people. We want to connect with brands, and we want to hear back from these brands. And so what that creates is an incredible new opportunity, and we're seeing that come to life in a variety of ways. And it's not just about a company that can do this. Governments, of course, are an important part of the social graph as well. As I suspect many of you probably know better than me, the Economic Times, the editor-in-chief, I'm told, every March sits down with the finance minister to talk about the national budget and do a Q&A session. And last year, what they did for the first time is the Economic Times reached out to people on Facebook and said, what do you want to hear? What should we ask about? What's on your mind? And foster discussion. And so when the editor sat down with the finance minister, with Pranab Mukherjee, he was actually able to take all this input from people. And so what you get is a leveling of the playing field, of people actually having an opportunity to interact and to get their voices heard. And we see examples of this all over the world in countless ways. And of course, this does happen for brands as well. As we build these connections, we start not just connecting to things, but then subscribing, if you will, having the chance to opt in to messaging and hearing back in basically creating a two-way dialogue. And what happens as a result of this connection that happens and the fact that people spend so much time on Facebook is that you suddenly start seeing much more time for brands and, in some cases, much stronger connections happening on Facebook than off Facebook. So this is just a couple of top brands and the number of likes they have on their Facebook page versus the number of website visitors. And you can see it starts to explain why many brands are spending more and more time, investing more and more on Facebook. It sounds like you guys had a really exciting visitor yesterday from Coke. One of the things that I thought was really interesting is that Wendy Clark, who runs a big part of international marketing for Coke, when she talks about the fact that they have 25 million fans on Facebook, she said the way Coke thinks about this is not that this is Coke owns 25 million fans and hopefully 30 million fans in time, and they have the chance just to sort of constantly push messages to them. But she said the way that we think about it is